What an abrupt finish. I should fix that.
I don't know who puts these things into the beginning of the show, but they need
Honestly, I'll tell
they
you,
need to
me.
replace that section rather than just jam that section in there.
I don't know why that happens like that, but whatever. Anyway, this is the Real Boys, and obviously we got a couple real boys here. We are two live, real boys doing our thing.
And Nicolas Cage. Don't forget, we got Nicolas Cage up there in the corner.
Producer Dylan Cage is here. He'll be taking care of all that business. And so anyway, this is the Real Boys, and this is a show where a bunch of people, about 75% of which do not have very good taste in movies, we got together and we threw a whole bunch of movies into a jar, and we said, you know what? Let's review these. Let's review these biscuits. I don't know what I was going to say. Biscuits is fine, I guess.
That's what I call movies. I call movies biscuits all the time.
Biscuits, right? That's what they're yeah, eye biscuits. Everyone
Yeah.
does that. Eye biscuits. All right. So anyway, we got some normally we have a whole bunch of people on this crew. We have upwards of 8. The Ocho, as I say on ESPN. There's the Ocho of mouths here. But tonight, it's only the beards. It's only the 2 big dogs. Now, if you're playing along at home, there are stats, and as far as like who's been to X amount of shows, Michael Colby, I think you and Dylan are pretty much tied for most amount of Real Boys shows hosted.
I would say that is accurate.
Yeah. So congratulations. That's
that's
quite a feat. And
so
I'm someone who talks a lot.
These fuckers pick these terrible movies, make me watch their shitty ass suck fucking movies, and then they don't show up for them to review them.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't understand why we're still doing this. I don't know if anyone does. I literally was looking on Facebook today, and I was trying to find out if all of our friends were coming up here. And out of the 8 people that are on the show, I had to friend request 2 of them. Well, somehow 2 of these Real Boys have unfriended me, and I'm going to talk to Dylan about why he did, but the other one is really suspicious. So anyway, now what we do here is we chat along about our friends' favorite movies, our top 5 favorite movies, and if you know us, and if you watched the show years ago, you would have seen someone there named Chris Harvey. This is what it looks like. Chris Harvey, he gave us a top 5, and the Quiet Place, fine. Collateral Beauty, I think, fine.
Oh, Collateral Beauty was not fine, nor was
fine.
Nor was Quiet Place.
Forrest Gump, below fine.
Very bad.
Aggressively below fine. But now we do have something special, though. He happened to give us a good movie. He gave us a good movie, which is fine. So he gave us Lion King from 1994, which is a beautiful movie, and really, there's a lot of things that you can say about this movie, but all in all, it is pretty hard to bash this. The casting is pretty atrocious. Outside of obviously a couple.
There's a couple that killed it in this movie. James Earl Jones, obviously. Jeremy Irons, the best part of this movie. Whoopi and Cheech were great. Otherwise,
whoever played Ed too also killed it.
Ed also, whatever, that could have been played by anybody.
I'll even say Nathan Lane and Pumbaa did a great job. I'm fine with that.
I don't like Nathan Lane, but that's fine. The one that stuck out to me for some reason was Nala's mother had one of the coolest voices I've ever heard. She has like 3 lines in the whole movie, but like whenever she spoke, I was like, cool. This is what I imagine a lioness would sound like. It was very cool. I don't know who the actress was, but she did a great job. And a lot of these lions sounded cool. Except for the main one.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I'm not really sure.
Terrible.
I mean, I know he was like hot stuff at the time, but really not a good casting thing.
Yeah.
We also have obviously Zazu, Rowan Atkinson. I'll take him all day, every day. So it doesn't really matter. If you're a big nosed bird, I'll take now you've seen The Lion King before this, right?
Yeah. Probably not since the first 2 letters or for the first 2 numbers of the year was 20. It would have had to have been the 1990s since I've seen this the last time.
Yeah. Now on the when we found out, when we were challenged with this movie to deal in the Real Boys, you were adamant that you were going to just rewatch the remake, and that was it.
No. I didn't rewatch the remake. I watched the remake for the first time.
Yeah. Now, what'd you think about that?
I enjoyed the remake.
See,
okay, here's the thing. The remake is exactly the same movie with a couple of extra scenes and much better voice acting for the most part.
Yeah, I'll agree with, definitely a way better cast. I'll say that.
Yeah.
The voice acting, it's fine. It's fine.
It lost a lot of the charm of the animated one. The realistic lions, it wasn't like the shots of Africa weren't like big and majestic and beautiful. They were, it looked like, a movie. Fine. Yeah. The cats looked pretty cool, but not like 100%. But it took the movie, and then it did do it's a half an hour longer. And about half of that half an hour is boring, slow shots of nothing happening. But the other 15 minutes sort of filled in the gaps of what I wanted filled in the animated one. It showed a little bit of the overhunting from Scar. It showed the beginning of the downfall of Pride Rock. It made Scar like a more fleshed out character, and it also made the hyenas like a bigger threat than it did in the cartoon. And I understand that the cartoon is a movie for children, but I have no real nostalgia for this movie.
Well, it's not like, Jon Favreau's Lion King is for adults. Like it's still,
no.
Like it's like a teaspoon of nostalgia. My problem is that you still have Jon Favreau doing a movie which has a better cast, but it's still just, a white New Jersey dude telling a story that is, kind of ripped off of Hamlet, I guess. Also ripped off of like a couple other stories. But then you have it also ripped off of one of the best Disney movies too, which is kind of weird, now, but we're not going to talk about the movie.
No,
here's my last.
No. I did want to say that because I did watch it for this because I thought it was going to be a big joke, but I did end up really enjoying the remake. Yeah. So I'll take Donald Glover. I'll take Donald Glover over Matthew Broderick 1,000 times out of 1,000.
Yeah, especially in a rap battle. Although Matthew Broderick can hold his own, Gambino's he's got the goods. Now, so you watched the remake, which is funny. Obviously I've seen The Lion King many times. Now I put this on again for this show, and I started watching it, and my daughter was like, Come on, I don't want to watch Mufasa die again. So we just started it, and right when like the stampede scene came, I actually just turned it off and put on Lion King 1.5. Have you seen Lion King 1.5?
Okay, I've never seen any of the sequels to this movie. And
okay,
yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, don't watch the sequels.
Okay, right? I wasn't planning on it.
Simba's Pride, awful. Lion King 3, which is Lionheart, whatever, not good. But Lion King 1.5 does like the Rodgers and Hammerstein thing, where it gives you what Timon and Pumbaa were doing throughout the entirety of one. So it's kind of like the background of what's going on just through Timon and Pumbaa's eyes.
I don't want to watch that either. Timon and Pumbaa were the most irritating characters in this movie. I
guess I'm gonna have to agree with that. They are irritating. They are funny though. Weirdly, it is the very first time in a Disney movie that flatulence was used as a joke. Isn't that an odd bit of trivia?
That is an odd bit of trivia. I would have thought the Little Mermaid was before this, right?
Well, yeah.
I would have thought that there would have been some. It's also been since the 1990s that I've watched The Little Mermaid, but I can't believe that there was no bubbles under the water joke in The Little Mermaid.
But then you would have kids asking questions of where did the bubbles come from, and do mermaids have buttholes?
I think I would imagine because the mermaids have.
But why would they have air inside their body when they live underwater?
That I don't know. I don't know if fish fart, but I would imagine that mermaids have cloacas like fish do, because their bottom halves are fish halves.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, I'm just assuming. I didn't research this, but
yeah, I can tell. I think if you ever research something and you end up still throwing the word cloaca out there, you need to do a little more research. But let's get back to this movie. Now, The Lion King is a 1994 American animated musical film produced by Walt Disney Feature Animation and released by Walt Disney Pictures. It's the 32nd Disney animated feature film and the 5th animated film produced during a period known as the Disney Renaissance. Quick question, Colby, what do you think about the Disney Renaissance?
I'm
glad you asked. The Disney Renaissance was a period from 1989
to I know what
this.
movies are in there, and they're like, what is it? Little Mermaid, Lion King, Aladdin. Mm-hmm. Those are the three that I think of right away.
Rescuers Down Under, Beauty and the Beast, Pocahontas.
Beauty and the Beast is the other one.
Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hercules, Mulan, Tarzan. Now the weird thing is this movie, while being made, the people that were put on The Lion King were told, well, they were kind of viewed as the B squad. Now, Disney was working on Pocahontas, and they put all of their A squad on Pocahontas, and they took years to make that movie, and they thought that was going to be the biggest thing. So all of like the other ones, all the other animators, the ones who like to joke around and put "kick me" stickers on the people, they put on The Lion King, which is crazy because like even this movie took over 3 years to animate. That one scene alone, just the stampede of wildebeest, took over 3 years because they actually had to build an algorithm to make one wildebeest run next to another wildebeest without actually touching. So each one of those were actually individually made, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. There is a lot of stuff, mostly looking, that I enjoyed about this movie. It's
beautiful movie. But Scar is just an impressive bad guy though.
Yeah.
And it's one of the first bad guys when you watch it, you're like, I'm actually kind of scared of this thing. Now, granted, I'm an adult, so not now. But when you think about the movies that came before this, you have Little Mermaid, and the bad guy of Little Mermaid, although was terrifying, still a bit,
over the top. Yeah, this one was sort of a realistic, like this could really be. I totally get that.
And I think this is the first time that we saw just straight up murder in a Disney movie. Like there is just absolute murder. Oh, the 2019 film The Lighthouse is a definitive answer. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Check out Lighthouse. Also check out Cold Skin if you want to know what's up with fish parts. Cold Skin will terrify you if you haven't seen it.
I haven't.
Oh, please watch this movie. It's so gross.
I didn't watch The Lighthouse either, despite Dylan Terry telling me to.
No,
like
me.
9 times a day.
Lighthouse is amazing. Cold Skin is about a guy who is the Punisher from the Warzone movie, who guards a lighthouse, has a female fish person hostage, mostly for his own pleasure.
Yeah.
But nightly, all their fish people come and try to get this female back. So it's constantly every single night fighting off a horde of fish people. Check it out. It's pretty cool.
No, that sounds cool.
You can see it on Amazon Prime. Okay, so The Lion King was directed by Roger Allers and Rob Minkoff, produced by Don Hahn. Don Hahn, cool name. Now, once again, once we said huge star-studded cast: Matthew Broderick, James Earl Jones, Jeremy Irons, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Moira Kelly, Nathan Lane, Ernie Sabella, who didn't really do anything else, although great voice in here. Robert Guillaume.
He was great. Robert
awesome.
Guillaume was awesome in this.
Yep. Whoopi Goldberg, Cheech Marin. The story takes place in the Kingdom of Lions in Africa and was influenced by the biblical stories of Joseph and Moses and William Shakespeare's Hamlet. Now, obviously, it opens with, will you please give me your best opening song of
Absolutely, I will not. No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Well, I wrote the lyrics down and I was going to try to sing it. And then I was like, I probably should just say this. And then like, can't do that either. But either way, the lyrics for the opening chant of the Circle of Life, they translate to, here comes a lion, a father. Oh, yes, it's a lion. Here comes a lion, father. Oh, yes, it's a lion. A lion we're going to conquer. A lion, and a leopard come into this open place. That's weird, but sure, whatever.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it sums up the movie. It's a lion. A lion. He came in and there's a father and a lion, and here he comes.
And a lion and a father.
Yeah.
Although no leopards. So in the Pride Lands of Africa, the Pride of Lions rule over the animal kingdom of Pride Rock. And King Mufasa and Queen Sarabi present their newborn son Simba to the gathering animals by Rafiki, the mandrill, the kingdom's shaman and advisor. And Mufasa shows Simba the Pride Lands and explains to him the responsibilities of the kingship and the circle of life, which connects all things. Now, I know that you are, mostly because of the graphic photos you send me, you're a biology major. Will you please describe to me the circle of life as told in The Lion King?
Well, as they tell it in The Lion King, the lions eat the antelope, and then when the lions die, their bodies turn into dirt that grows grass that the antelope eat. So therefore, that it completes the circle of life. It seems like one of those is a little bit more horrific than just dying of natural causes and then turning into dirt.
Yeah, one is you're hunted and murdered, and eaten, probably in front of your family, and the other one is like, man, I'm full and I'm old.
Yeah. I guess I'll die now and turn into grass.
I'll be grass soon. You know what? The antelope, they win also. I don't think it's very fair. I don't think it's a good way of looking at the world. But
and they also in the remake address that part of it. And they say, because Timon and Pumbaa, when Simba talks about the circle of life, they're like, I don't think so. They're like, there's no circle. You guys hunt and eat us, and we just get killed and scavenge for what we need. So they actually did address that. Again, a fun little extra thing that they put into the live action remake.
Yeah. They also addressed it in Lion King 1.5, just so you know, which was predated the Beyonce vehicle by about 10 years.
Yeah. Not enough Beyonce. I wouldn't call it a Beyonce vehicle because there was not enough Beyonce in it.
Yeah, I agree. If it has Beyonce in it, outside of Austin Powers, it needs more Beyonce.
Oh, that's right.
Man, that movie is
I can't believe
bad.
Beyonce was in an Austin Powers movie.
Man, it's so bad. Such a bad movie.
That was Goldfinger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was really bad. I remember going to the theaters to see Goldfinger or Goldmember, and everybody who left the theater was like, we were all excited to go see it because the trailer for it made it look awesome. And of course, we liked the first two because we were right in the demographic for those movies. And then we all just left the theater like, that may be the first movie that I was ever like, oh, they can make bad movies too.
Yeah. That was just not a good movie.
No, not funny at all.
Now, Mufasa's younger brother Scar covets the throne and plots to get rid of Mufasa and Simba so that he may become king. He tricks Simba and his best friend Nala into exploring the forbidden elephant graveyard, where they're chased by 3 hyenas named Shenzi, Banzai, and Ed. Now, how do you feel about all this? Because I will say that this movie, my favorite scene is right around this scene. And it's right before they get to the elephant graveyard. You know what scene I'm talking about?
Is it just when they're walking to the watering hole?
Let me play it for you.
Hey, Nala. Hi, Simba. Come on, I just heard about this great place. Simba, I'm kind of in the middle of a bath.
And it's time for yours.
Mom, you're messing up my mane. Okay, I'm clean. Can we go now? So where are we going? It better not be any place dumb. No, it's really cool.
So where is this really cool place?
So you enjoy the children cats getting a bath, you pervert. That's your favorite. You fucking weirdo.
Listen, there is nothing more beautiful than brotherly love. And the display of that on there is I just thought that was so funny. I like Nala. I think Nala is such a cool character.
Yeah.
In the cartoon when she it's like I pinch you again. I think she's so cool. And later on, when she gives Simba eyes, I'm like, look, I'm not into lions, but Nala's got it. So anyway, now Mufasa is alerted by his majordomo. Why did I write that? Oh, okay. Yeah. I gotta stop copy and pasting stuff without looking at it. Now Zazu, and then because of Zazu, he rescues the cubs. Though upset with Simba, Mufasa forgives him and explains that with the great kings of the past watch over them in the night sky, which one day he'll watch over Simba. So this is that whole scene where it's like, there's all these kings up in the sky. Meanwhile, Scar visits the hyenas and convinces them to help him overthrow Mufasa in exchange for hunting rights of Pride lands. Now, Scar wants to be king, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I need the hyenas to do this. But what do the hyenas do? Because, like, to me, Scar kills Mufasa, right? Mm-hmm. And then he comes back and he's like, yo, Mufasa's dead. I'm pretty sure Simba did it. Blah, blah, blah. All the ladies, y'all got to go out hunting now and bring me some food. And I don't really know what the hyenas did except for just kind of hang out and laugh a lot and eat stuff, right?
The hyenas are the only reason that this movie happens, because after Mufasa gets killed, Simba still trusts Scar. There is a 100% chance that Scar could have just killed Simba right there and gotten away with it. Nobody would have ever known, but he leaves it up to the hyenas, who of course do a terrible job. And I think the hyenas are just there to screw stuff up so that the movie can happen. Because in this movie, let's just say in this movie, the hyenas are not a threat in the smallest bit ever. There's no moment where you think that the hyenas are going to do any sort of damage to anyone.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean they're fun. They're fun comic relief.
Yeah,
I like them better than Timon and Pumbaa as far as comic relief goes. But that could just be because it's Cheech and Whoopi, and they're going 120%. Them
That's
and
true.
Jeremy Irons, all of the villains in this movie are just doing everything they can plus extra, and it's great.
I'll say this is probably the best I've liked Whoopi Goldberg. Now, obviously, Ghost is great, but in this movie, I mean, yeah, she's got a pretty small role. But that Mufasa scene where she's like, even his name gives me chills. Say it again. It's like Mufasa. Yeah, love that scene.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, you're right. Whoopi's killing it, and James Earl Jones does a great job. But
James
Jeremy Irons is giving it the business.
Oh man. I could listen to that guy talk. I don't get I could listen to that guy read the phone book and I would be like, yeah, this is a great movie.
Yeah, I agree. But so Scar just pretty much tells Simba, like, look, it's your fault. Your dad died. You can't come around here anymore. People are going to hate you. They're going to talk about you, right? And and so he's like, all right, I'll get out of here. And he leaves and he grows up. He goes through puberty. He's got to do, I guess it's kind of the same thing as what happens in 300, where you got to kick the kids out and really just let them grow up on their own. And hopefully they can kill a wolf or two, and then you can come back and have abs. Right? That's
much less slow motion in this than in 300, though.
Could have used more slow motion. You're right. Now, meanwhile, Scar visits the high. Oh no, I talked about it. Now Scar sets up a trap for his brother and nephew, luring Simba into a gorge and having the hyenas drive a large herd of wildebeest into a stampede and trample him. We already went over that, which is cool. Now Scar refuses to help Mufasa, and we already went over that. Now Scar tells the bride.
I just want to say, because we are already past that, because you did say that he grew up. But I do want to say one thing about, again, I know that this is a kid's movie.
Yeah.
But after seeing Mufasa get trampled to death by 500 wildebeests, and it just looks like he's a stuffed animal, just like that some kid threw off the bed, I was like, they could have put some cuts or something on him, anything to make him look like he just got run over by, all these hooves and antlers and but it just looks like he's sleeping. And I'm like, I know that this is a kid's movie, but put some scratches on this guy, because
cave that skull in or something.
I'm not saying get graphic with it. If this was a Lion King for adults, get graphic with it, but you got to do something to make it look like he just got, murdered by by wildebeests.
What does that look like for kids though? Like, is like
just some scratches, and put him in a weird position. It doesn't have to be graphic, but it has to be more than him laying on his side. He just looks sleepy.
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't make getting stampeded by wildebeest look that bad.
No, it doesn't.
It seems like a nice massage. And you just fall asleep.
Oh, I just got trampled to death by wildebeests. I'm sleepy now. Let me take a nappy.
It's like a hot stone massage, I think. Now, while Simba's growing up, we meet your favorite characters, Timon and Pumbaa, which are a meerkat and a warthog, and they kind of rescue Simba because he's pretty much dead in the desert, and Simba grows up with his two new friends, and they have a pretty carefree, chill life. They adopted the classic motto, Hakuna Matata. Which means, no worries.
Yeah, right. No worries. It's a great way to live your life right after you watched your father get murdered, got kicked out of your home, almost died. And then it's like, meh, who cares? It's fine.
And then forced vegetarianism. And then it's like,
is eating bugs vegetarian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Bugs. I think bugs are
vegetables.
I think they're vegan, but I don't think they're considered like a meat. I think they're like a ground protein, like a peanut, maybe. I have no idea. Now, And I'm going to just say this right now. When any human being looks me in the face and says no worries, I hate their guts for the rest of my life. I hate it
for the rest of your days.
Seriously, I hate it when people say no worries to me. I don't understand it, and I hate it. So please, if you ever see me, don't say no worries. Just say thanks. I'm okay with anything. I don't like no worries. I don't like that.
Just say we all have worries. Just people,
the world's got worries. Yeah, it's such a one-sided way of looking at life. It's like, hey, look, I don't have a problem with this, so leave me alone. It's like,
yeah,
what if I do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about me? All right, so now a grown-up Simba rescues Timon and Pumbaa from a hungry lioness who turns out to be Nala, and she and Simba reunite and fall in love quickly, and she urges him to return home, telling him that the Pride Lands have become a drought-stricken wasteland under Scar's reign. Now, how long do you think Simba was gone for?
I have no idea how old lions live.
Yeah.
I would imagine it has to be like 5 years though. Like I can't imagine that they go from cub to full-grown lion in less than 5 years.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out like how long any of this is. So like obviously the lifespan of a meerkat is 12 years. And the lifespan of a warthog is about 15 years. So I'm assuming it's about 5 years long is when his sabbatical, his Rumspringa was first ever African Rumspringa. Now, in 5 years, when they finally get back to Pride Rock, there's no grass.
Mm-hmm.
There's no sun.
Mm-hmm. The no sun doesn't make sense.
What happened?
Well,
did hyenas bring a whole bunch of pollution quickly? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that now you just talked about Nala leaving and going to look for Simba.
Mm-hmm.
I said I was going to stop doing this, but in the remake,
please
the tension when she's leaving and Scar and the hyenas are like looking for her and she's like sneaking around, like it was great. I was like, wow, it brought some tension to that scene instead of her just being at Pride Rock and then she's where Simba is. But anyway, yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. Like, if there's no food anywhere, she's like searching everything, and if she finds a meerkat in a jungle meerkat, is dangerous.
Yeah.
That's something like if you see a raccoon during the day. I think, like, if you see a meerkat in the jungle, they're probably rabid.
But you were asking about something that didn't have to do with the remake.
I was wondering how long. This
I'm just gonna say 5 years.
It's just because when they go back, it's just so desolate.
Yeah,
the
fact that this like again, they did talk about. I don't know what they do in 1.5, but they do talk about how Scar is just killing things just for the hell of it, and the hyenas. There's a lot more hyenas, so they're just sort of clearing the land of everything. They're just strip mining the animals out of there. So that part makes sense. Mm-hmm. But again, the no sun, the thunderstorms all the time, the no plants. That doesn't make sense. I guess it's just for atmosphere for the movie.
It's crazy atmosphere because it's like all of a sudden there's like firestorms everywhere. But anyway, before we get back to Pride Rock, now Simba's still feeling pretty guilty about his father's death, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's when he encounters Rafiki, which I will say is probably my actual favorite scene in the whole movie. That whole part where Rafiki's running through all the vines in the jungles and Simba's like trying to chase him, whatever. And then he's visited by the ghost of Mufasa in the night sky who tells him that he must take his rightful place as king, and realizing that he can no longer run from the past, Simba decides to return to Pride Lands. I think I love Rafiki the most out of the characters in this movie.
I think Rafiki's great. Again, the hyenas in this one are great. Scar, and I think that has to do with they know how much to put those characters in the movie. If they put Rafiki in a bunch, I bet he would get annoying. Just like if they put the hyenas in too much, I bet they would be annoying. Just like if they put Timon and Pumbaa in less, I probably would have liked them a lot more.
See, now granted, like the Timon and Pumbaa part, yeah, I can agree with that. But I'm going to disagree with everybody else. Now, the hyenas, you can take them out of this movie completely. Nothing changes. Nothing really changes.
Yeah.
Scar's motivation really is, I want to be king. I want to eat a lot. Although he probably ate a lot anyway because he's the king's brother. Who cares? But it's just a pointless, I want to be in charge, right?
Yeah, now, it feels very spookily similar to another situation that we had recently where we have a leader who didn't really want to be leader. He just wanted to be known as the leader. And totally, I mean, also evil and could have stripped the land of all of the plants, animals, and probably there would have been thunderstorms if we would have let that person be in charge for any longer than we did. And I'm not going to say who that was, but because we don't get political on the Real Boys, but
we've all seen Dune that could happen. Now. We've all seen Dune by now. We get it. You didn't like Dune. We get it.
Did you watch the Dune episode? I gave it a 7. What do you want?
I was trying to link Dune in with our last overseer, but I couldn't think of a way to. But what I was saying was like Rafiki actually has a character. Rafiki has a point. And the fact that he's like, look, you can't look behind you. It doesn't matter. And I will say that, a not so young Zach Wiseman, when, watching this movie in 1994 as a sophomore in high school. And when he hits him on the head and he's like, it's done. We're going to do. That is literally the best lesson anyone can learn, which is like, stop focusing on the past.
Yeah.
What are you going to do to make this better? What are you going to do as of right now? And yeah, I get it. It's like Santa, squash, banana, I'm a baboon, whatever. But it's so powerful. The lesson that he learns right before you get that record scratch of Mufasa being in the stars. And it's like, look, dude, I'm here, my young boy. Like, you're fine. You're cool. Yep. You're doing your thing. Go be king. You're awesome.
No, see, here's the thing, though. They let that character be what he is. And that lesson is probably the most important thing that happens in the movie is Simba learning that lesson.
Yeah.
And having kids learn that lesson as well.
Yeah.
But that if they would have put him in that movie more, it would have been more the squash banana, crazy monkey bullshit.
I don't know because he seemed like kind of, witch-like, like that one scene where he's like shaking bones around. He's like, wait a minute, I think Simba's still alive.
Yeah.
And even in the beginning where he like holds up Simba in the, in the beginning, he's like, look, this is to the world. I can definitely see a movie where Rafiki gets goofy, but I love the character that they gave him as just a wise kind of, a little kooky, but just super, because it actually goes against the lesson I think most people take away from Lion King, which is no worries. I think no worries is the wrong way of looking at it.
Yes.
Because it's not about forget everything. It's not about drop it all. It's about, look, this shit happened. Move on.
Yeah.
Grow up, learn, get past it.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful. And I think that it's that little scene with Rafiki that makes this from just a kids movie into a powerful movie that will stay with you for, forever, honestly. And even the remake is great.
I'm in agreement with you 100% there. And I'm also not trying to argue, that I also think that Rafiki was the most pivotal character in the movie. I think this movie couldn't have, shouldn't have, and wouldn't have happened without his guidance. I'm just saying, this is, you said at the beginning of the episode that this was like the B tier guys, and you can see, because this movie is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I think if they would have given them a little bit more time with this character, he would have skewed towards the fun side rather than the witch doctor, shaman, character that he is in this.
Yeah.
And again, it's all speculation. You're speculating. I'm speculating. We don't know. All I know is that in the movie that we watched, he was the perfect balance of those two. That's what we got. And I'm appreciative that that's what happened, because this movie, you probably could have taken out most of these characters and still had a good movie. You couldn't have taken out Rafiki exactly how he was and had this be still the same impact of a movie. What the character we got, the way we got him, was perfect in this movie. Robert Guillaume did a great job. I don't know who voiced him in the remake, but he also did a great job. But yeah, this is the character that they needed. And they wrote perfectly, and he worked perfectly.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah. And, the movie they make right after this one is Hunchback. And, or actually, well, I guess Pocahontas and then Hunchback. But if you think about Hunchback, like, there is one of probably the most dramatic, dark scenes of any Disney movie. And that,
Hunchback, I actually is up there in my top tier. Like, I have a bunch of Disney movies that I really love. Yeah. This isn't one of them. I ended up liking this more than but The Hunchback of Notre Dame I've seen like twice. But yeah, it definitely has more of that stuff that I like in a movie. Like that is a dark ass movie.
I remember watching that movie and thinking for the first time. So, like, in every Disney movie, there's a villain, right? And the villain always has a purpose. In Hunchback, the villain is just a bad guy. That's it. He's just an evil, like, just a bad guy. And that was the first time that I was like, oh, it's just a villain. Not Scar, who wants to be king, or Ursula, who got tricked and whatever, who's also a really cool character.
Ursula's a great villain, tragic, good, relatable villain, like somebody that you feel for. Scar, not so much, but yeah. And Princess and the Frog has the same thing. Princess and the Frog has, I think that's my favorite Disney movie. It has the best villain in it, and also the most gruesome villain death.
He's a very cool villain. I think the coolest bit of trivia about The Little Mermaid for me, Ursula was drawn to look like Divine, and Divine from the John Waters films was supposed to voice, but Disney had such a problem with Divine as an actor.
I can see that.
Obviously, that they couldn't do it, but they still thought that it was such a beautiful look to be just perfectly evil. Now, granted, Divine is not evil.
No, absolutely not.
Such a great line.
But also, Divine chewed up that scenery, and I can see Disney not using Divine. But also, wow, what a movie that would have been.
Seriously, if Divine was the voice actor for Ursula, that movie would have been so much better.
Absolutely. Holy moly.
Yeah. All right. So after the Rafiki scene, now aided by his friends, Simba sneaks past the hyenas at Pride Rock and confronts Scar. And Scar taunts Simba over his role in Mufasa's death and backs him over the edge of a rock where he reveals that he murdered Mufasa. Now, enraged, Simba forces him to tell the truth to the rest of the pride, and Timon, Pumbaa, Rafiki, Zazu, and the lionesses fight the hyenas, while Scar, attempting to escape, is cornered by Simba at the ledge near the top of Pride Rock. and Scar begs for mercy and attempts to blame his crimes on the hyenas. And Simba spares his life, but orders him to leave the Pride Lands forever. And Scar refuses, and he attacks his nephew, but Simba throws him off the cliff after a brief scuffle, and Scar survives. He survives the fall, but is attacked and devoured by the hyenas, who overheard his attempts to betray him. Now, afterwards, Simba takes over the kingship and makes Nala his queen. With the Pride Lands restored to its usual state, Rafiki presents Simba and Nala's newborn cub to the assembled animals, beautifully continuing the circle of life where antelope eat grass and lions bang out and eat hyenas and eat antelope. Now, the death scene is the final fight scene is really it's well animated. I mean, the fire's gorgeous. Having the lions jump through the fire like made me think of like the Jungle Book. But oh, wait a minute, I think we have a special guest. Hang on a second.
Oh, what?
Whoa!
Whoa!
Chris Harvey's here.
I am here.
He's to get his views of Lion King. Chris Harvey.
I've meant to be here at 8 and I totally forgot.
Not a problem.
I didn't even watch the movie, but I know the movie by heart, so I don't have to watch it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm glad that you came to us right as soon as you woke up. Just as soon as you woke up.
Yeah. It's like the alarm on his phone went off. He's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, totally. Is there only two of you guys for Lion King?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, right? Isn't that upsetting? Lion King's actually it's one of your good movies you picked. But so
it's the good movie. Yeah.
It's the good movie you picked. We were at the part where the final fight scene where obviously everything goes down. Scar turns into a real bitch and kind of tries to rat the hyenas who overheard him and like you talking behind my back, and he really just he goes after Simba's back and the hyenas just eat him, and then the sun comes back, right? Because Scar. Now, quick question though, how long do you think Simba was gone after Mufasa's death before he came back?
Not even a year.
Not 1 year?
No.
So in less than 1 year, all the plants in Pride Rock dipped. The sun was like, nah, I can't go here. It's like firestorms up there.
Yeah.
What happened to Pride Rock in that year?
Well, because so like it was obviously like a turn of all those hyenas, and they weren't at no point where when it was like Mufasa in charge, they portioned and they had control. But when the hyenas came and took over, it was more of just a hunting season, just kind of doing it just to do it.
Which they actually talk about in the remake.
Yeah, they just literally had no, and like lion, like you, oh, he was a cub when he was in the beginning, and then it showed the montage. He was an adult. Like, it's an animal. They grow fast. Have you ever had a puppy? They're puppies for 2 years, or for not even a year. I would say 6 months to a year at most.
Wow. Yeah, because we were thinking it was closer to like 5 years. Just like give them time to figure some stuff out.
No, because imagine it's like it's quick. It's easy when people don't know how to run something to ruin it. And they obviously didn't know how to run stuff. And they were so hungry and haven't ate for so long, they were terrorizing those giraffes and bison.
So would you say that the reason that things got so bad was because Scar broke the circle of life and because there was no more grass for the antelopes to eat, right? Yeah. Is that it?
I mean, I would say it's more just a free for all. They wanted to eat. They were hungry for so long. They thought that it's like when someone wins the lottery. They get all that money and blow it super quick because they don't know how to financially be stable, and they just ate all the food, and then that just ruins.
Now, from Scar's death to the birth of Simba's son, how long is that?
Scar's death to the birth of Simba's son?
Yeah.
I don't know that. I don't know. Does he have a son in that first one?
In the very end,
the very end. I'm looking at a Wikipedia It's about lions, but it says, according to Wikipedia, lions reach maturity at 3 years old and become big enough to challenge other lions between 4 and 5 year old. 5 years old.
I think it was that long.
So no. I'm gonna say it's like probably between what we said, like between the 1 year that Chris said and the 5 years that we said. It sounds like it's closer to 3 years.
Yeah. Because it's crazy to think that, like, okay, so when Simba left, from when he left to when he came back, nothing. There was nothing. No grass, no sun, nothing, right? No animals. And then when Simba came back and beat Scar, until him and Nala banged out and had a baby, every animal's back, every plant's back, the sun's back. And I'm just curious, like, why? That's cool. But here's the thing. I'm not talking trash this movie. I love this movie. And that's it.
Yeah, I also am talking very little trash on it.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
Now, if we would have picked the live action version, how much shit would I be getting today?
None. I loved the remake.
You would have.
I did.
Michael Colby would be your friend. I would be screaming the entire time.
I actually enjoyed the remake. Also, I enjoy all remakes just because it's fun to watch. But I did the first one's obviously great, but I didn't think they did a bad job with the remake either.
They didn't do a bad job. My only problem with the remake is the fact that everything looks so real that when they're saying the words, I'm not getting any actual like emotion because they're real lines.
Yeah, and I know that it's by far less charming.
It's almost like that uncanny valley for animals, where I'm like, I don't like. I know you're a lion and that's cool, but like I'm literally watching a nature show while saying.
What's crazy is I think the best live action remake is The Jungle Book.
I agree.
And it wasn't as like, it didn't give you that feeling. You actually felt it. So I wish they kind of would have done that, but with The Lion King.
Yeah, something special about the Jungle Book remake, and it should not have worked because the whole Bill Murray part is weird. The Christopher Walken even making a cowbell reference is weird. Cobb being Scarlett Johansson is weird.
Yeah, Idris Elba's in that.
Yeah, but it's just weird because he's a dirty lion that kind of wants. But for some reason it works, and I love the remake of the Jungle Book, the live.
I'm gonna have to watch that because I've liked all of the remakes I've seen so far. All the live action remakes I liked a lot. So
no, I agree. It is the best one. Yeah. It has the most like creative push to it because it's not a musical, and that is really clever how they do that.
You got it. You got me now.
There's 2 songs, but the songs work for some reason.
Yeah, I think the only one that that I really remember was the Bare Necessity.
Well, and then Christopher Walken has his long
the King Louis song or whatever.
Yeah, which is crazy, but it still works, and I'm fine with it.
No,
so Christopher Walken's a monkey in that?
A very large monkey with a golden cowbell.
Okay, I'm into it.
But this movie, it's good. Yeah. The remake of this movie, although a way better cast, I think it loses the charm. It loses the story in being just good. It's like it's so well done that you kind of forget what it's about because you're just like even Aladdin. Aladdin, the remake it's fine. It's fine. But the problem is that the whole time you're watching it, you're just comparing it to the other one, and you kind of forget what the story is. Now,
I think it's now. I always say this. I always go, could this be a standalone movie if it didn't already have that? And so that's how I base off remakes. I go, if it's a remake without its fan base, could it have been a standalone as a live action and would have worked? And I think that some of them do, some of them don't. In my opinion, I like the Aladdin. I don't know if I said this on this podcast before yet, but about Aladdin. So I understand the whole idea of not whitewashing characters because it's been such a big thing in history. But I think there's only one person that should have played Jafar in Aladdin, the remake, and that's Johnny Depp. Because he was the only person that's like, to me growing up, Jafar was like super seductive and drunk uncle kind of evil. And since Johnny Depp had played that in the Pirates of the Caribbean, I thought it would have been a perfect fit. But other than that, I loved Aladdin also.
Yeah, I'll say that the live action remake of Aladdin was fine. Jafar was a bit of a letdown in that movie.
Horrible.
And Johnny Depp as Jafar, I think would have been really good because he's creepy. And the creepy seduction and the ability to like mind control people would have been really gross on Johnny Depp, which would have translated very well. But all right, so now Chris Harvey.
Yes.
1994.
Yes.
What was Chris Harvey up to?
Lion King was released on my birthday of me being born, June 24th, 1994.
Oh my!
That
nice.
Is yes.
So when Simba came to the world, so did Chris Harvey.
I am Simba.
Wow. And I was 15.
Me too. Now, do you have a memory of the first time watching this movie, or has this, because you were born, you probably just kind of grew up with this movie, right?
Yeah, I've watched The Lion King. Like, okay, like I say I won't, unless I love a movie, I won't watch it again. I've seen The Lion King in theaters like 4 times. Like I've seen it I've seen the remake twice. I've seen when they released it at some point when I was 15 as a 3D version. And I went to the movies twice to see that, on top of seeing it as a kid 1,000 times. It's literally probably should be my number 1 movie, but I didn't think that you guys would like it, so I didn't want that to be my number 1.
Dude, I love this movie.
Yeah, you were wrong. This one was I think this one was a slam dunk. I think.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think this one's by far your best movie. Like by far.
And like I should have went all Disney. I literally am the biggest Disney buff. I love Disney movies, so I watch animated movies. Period. I love anything that's like Toy Story, all that stuff. I love those movies. So I probably
now, if you were to swap out Forrest Gump with another Disney movie, which one would that be?
Oh, that's such.
Because I hate
Rio.
Forrest Gump. Is
Rio
Disney?
Not Disney? It's animated, but Rio.
Yeah, it's a DreamWorks, but yeah, it's fine. I'll take Rio.
I like Rio a lot. George Lopez is in Rio.
Yeah, Rio is wild.
Is that the parrot movie? Are they parrots in that?
It's a blue. He's a rare blue. I used to know what it was. He's a cacaw or something like that.
Now, when you said that, I registered it as Rango, and I'm like, "Yo, you're just on a Johnny Depp kick."
Rango's pretty good.
Dude,
I like Rango a lot.
Yeah, Rango is crazy. I love that movie.
I would almost go Emperor's New Groove too, though, because I love Emperor's New Groove.
Emperor's New Groove is good. I would have put I have a very weird Disney thing.
I want an Emperor New Groove remake.
A live action with no David Spade.
Not Crunk's Revenge either. Dude, I would love Emperor's New Groove. I think that movie is cleverly good. And I wish David Spade wasn't in it, but it had to work at the time, and I get that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Disney moving to play.
Disney does a lot of casting of people who are hot at the moment, and I think a lot of times they fall off before the movie is even released.
Yeah, that's true. Then you're like, wow, why is this person in here?
Yeah.
And they obviously fall off pretty quick because, like I said, you look at the cast of this and you're like, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, where is that dude? Like, he's not, dude, he's rich, but he's nowhere. And Matthew Broderick, like, we can get better attempted murders on this podcast than Matthew Broderick.
We can always do better than Matthew Broderick. We can do better than Matthew Broderick in everything he's ever been in.
Yeah. But now, Chris, when it comes to Lion King, there are kind of like two fighting like thought processes of what this movie's about. And if you had to sum up what this movie is about, what is it about?
I don't think I've ever thought about it in that like deepness. I just watched the movie because it's enjoyable.
Yeah. Because what I was going to say was, I
don't know if I'm ready for that question.
See, I watch a lot of movies. I always have the TV on. I'm always watching stuff. And Lion King's a movie I've always watched. Now, when breaking it down for this show and actually like reviewing it as a project, like why they make this, what are they doing? Because the first thing that comes to you is the Hakuna Matata thing. And you're like, no worries. And now every single stupid white person says no worries all the time. And it's annoying. But I don't think that that's the right approach. And I don't think that's the message that this movie wants you to know. And I think Rafiki gives you a better message, which is, you got knocked in the head, dude. Get back in there.
Right.
Get over it. Get over it. And I think that's a cooler way of looking at it. And for some, I like same thing as Michael. I was 15 when I saw this movie, and like I told him when we got to that part of the movie that was so powerful to me. The idea that like, look, I can hit you. Nothing you do can make that not happen.
Yeah.
But what are you to do with this knowledge? What are you going to do as a badass with this information? And I thought at the time watching it, that was very cool, but also the no worries, Hakuna Matata. And as a stupid kid, you're like, Hakuna Matata, I don't care about nothing. But it's the fact of like, dude, life's going to hit you with some weird shit. Like, but you got to get back in there. Now, growing up, do you think that that's what a lesson that some kids took from this, or even you? Or is this just a cool movie with like a scary bad guy?
No, it wasn't a scary bad guy. There's a lot more to the movie than just those like two quotes. There's also like a big thing on one. I think a lot of people look at it like he left and then learned himself a little bit and then was able to come back. I think that's really big for young adults. Being able to leave the nest and figure it out on your own, even though he felt like he had to because he thought he murdered his dad.
He got gaslighted out of Pride Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But then it also has like such a strong family oriented type of thing that I always enjoyed. There's a lot to this movie. If you really broke down all the layers to it, it's a really deep movie. And even with the circle of life thing of like the idea of it's all repetitive or almost like a reincarnation kind of thing. It's a dope movie. I've always enjoyed it. Fun fact. I heard when girls are younger, they have crushes on Scar. Like I had heard a girl say that they had a crush on Scar growing up, and I go, a lion? They go, he was like the bad boy, and I go, is that how y'all like bad boys? Is that why? It's because of fucking Scar?
I tell you, dude, if I had a scar over my eye, I'd be so cool.
It's
so
Jeremy,
cool
and if you had Jeremy Irons' voice, you would probably have more. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it.
But I will say this though, watching every single movie as soon as it comes out, this was the first time that I was like, yo, lions are hot. Because Nala gives Simba some eyes later on. You're like, all right, I'll take that. I told someone, I think for girls, Scar was guys as Lola Bunny.
Oh, from like Space Jam. That's why they changed it when it came out.
I hate Lola Bunny.
Really?
With such a passion. I think trying to sexualize and put boobs on a rabbit is so crazy.
But
especially when you're trying to get bugs. Yeah, it's weird. Well, I wasn't 8 though. I wasn't 8 though, dude. I was like 17. And I'm like, nah.
Yeah,
it's like whenever you see like
I skipped. I did not see Lola Bunny when I was a teenager, which is probably good because that could have woken up some things. But I only saw Space Jam this year for the first time, the original one. It is a hot garbage.
Woo. It's fun.
So funny.
It sucks so bad.
It's a funny kids movie. It's really bad acting and rough.
Yeah,
it's really bad.
It's fun if you like the Looney Tunes as a kid and
it is the longest.
As an adult, I'm sure it sucks.
Yeah, it is the longest Warner Brothers commercial for Nike that there has ever been.
Yeah,
but it is so much better than the remake. Go ahead.
No, I like the remake. I actually liked the remake, but the original is a piece of garbage.
You are a piece of trash yourself. That remake is so bad.
I didn't like the remake at all. But anyway,
so bad.
LeBron James, say what you will about his basketball playing. I don't know if he's better than Michael Jordan as a basketball player. He's 100% better than him as an actor.
Maybe.
Probably.
What were we saying, Chris?
Okay, fun fact. So I was born June 24th, 1994. And obviously Lion King was released on my birthday. And fun fact is Lion King and Forrest Gump were both released in 1994, and both had the #1 and #2 soundtracks of the year.
Yeah, and one of them I like, and one of them I will rewatch multiple times. One of them I will make jokes on to myself.
Yeah, you were there for the Forrest Gump podcast.
I know. For that one. I should have. Mike Colby's opinion on Spaceship. Yeah, true. Seriously, it makes you just unattractive.
If that's the worst thing about me, I'll take it.
I wish I was here for the Forrest Gump because that movie is one of I don't know how the world got so blindsided by that piece of just absolute
It's Tom
butt
Hanks.
paper.
It's Tom Hanks.
Hey, no lie.
It's just.
I actually, because Michael said we were talking about that movie, and I'm actually going to work on something for that. What me and Michael talked about at that show. So he had said he hated that Forrest Gump doesn't have an arc, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, that's the point. Was he had like a flatline character, and he had all these characters around him going like this, and he was like, well, I would much rather watch a movie about them. So I was like, I'm going to write a TV show with all the other cast members, following their lives. And
I love
much more interesting.
Each season is going to be per person. So the first season will be about Jenny, second season about Bubba Gump, third season about Lieutenant Dan. I'm going to write that show.
I'll watch it.
It's called the Gump series.
I love it, dude. Season 1 sounds amazing.
I will watch the absolute hell out of that.
Jenny is the only person in that movie that has a character. So,
and there's a second book called Gump and Company, all about his son.
Yeah,
and they never released it as a movie. So I would just make that.
Wait, have you read the first? Have you read Forrest Gump, the first one?
I don't read.
Because I tell you, because that could have been a good movie. Because in the book, he's like an astronaut, and he's got like a chimp. He's got like a chimp as a friend. He's a wrestler. He does some really cool stuff. In the movie, he is not a good person. But we're not talking about that anymore. We're talking about Lion King. Now, Chris, we're getting to the end of our time. Do you want to give us any other hot topics?
Lion King is the greatest childhood movie there is. You could argue it, but there's not much to argue. It's a great movie, and with my one pick of this one movie, it beats all of your picks combined. So I win. And I also want to apologize. I haven't been at anyone else's movies. I'm trying,
Dude, we got lives. I missed like 4 months of the show, so don't worry about it.
Okay, that's right. Awesome. Yeah, me and Dylan are the only ones without lives. We're the only ones who are here all the time.
Yeah, okay. And Dylan found a life for today, so hopefully he gets to return that back to Target.
Except he didn't find a life because he's been commenting the entire time. He's just sitting there.
That's fair. He's making sure I'm doing the right job. But Chris, I really, honestly, great pick on this one. Because looking at your other movies is like, Quiet Place, fun, whatever, no big deal. Forrest Gump, trash. Collateral Beauty, fine. That was a fine movie.
It wasn't fine.
It was fine.
What do you feel about next week's movie? It's my movie also, my number one.
Now, what is your number one movie for next week?
Instant Family.
Instant Family. Will you give
Mark
us a quick
Wahlberg movie? Hey, bro, expect me to look confused the entire time I'm doing the episode, bro.
Did you watch it yet?
I haven't watched it yet, bro. But I guarantee, like, just from the clip that they play on the Friday episode, Mark Wahlberg has that confused look on his face, and I just want to punch him.
Dude, I love confused Mark.
I just watched it last night for fun. Because I couldn't find Lion King on any streaming app, so I'm watching this again. Yeah. It is truly my favorite movie. It is. Okay, so in the past, Michael felt like Collateral Beauty was too much emotion. They were trying to force it down your throat.
Yep.
I think that one almost does this, but it has so much comedy and comedic. It has a lot of comedians in it, stand-up comics.
Yeah, you said the comedians that were in it, and so I'm gonna give it a chance, but I just hate Mark Wahlberg's confused ass face.
Yeah, Mark.
I love it, dude.
Mark is Mark, but I do really, really love this movie. It has the main character from Dora the Explorer, and I think she's dope. Isabella something, I can't remember her name.
Dude, that movie's so weird.
It's so funny.
I want to see that. That actually looked really cool.
It's weirdly so funny. Michael Pena might be one of my favorite actors, so that movie is hilarious to me.
Yeah,
it's really cheesy. But no, I do really love Instant Family. Next week's going to be great. This week was great because Lion King's amazing. But Instant Family, I think, is just something that a lot of people don't know about. A lot of people have never seen it. But it has a really, really cool message. And everything you would think, like, serious-wise, they make fun about it. So I really do like that a lot, too.
Yeah, I'm always down. Dylan is apparently not commenting. Really, yeah, I'm excited. The thing about with everybody else in the show, Phil Better, it's like, here's 5 garbage movies. With Dylan, it's like
broy garbage ass movies.
With Dylan, it's like, here's some movies with a lot of words in it. With Colby, it's like, hey, here's how to squeeze in probably a penis in a movie. With your movies, it was weird because it's like, here's 4 movies that do not exist and The Lion King. Most of your movies, like In Family, does not exist. The other one,
so weird.
Collateral Beauty does not exist. So it's really cool that you're on this because it's not a bro movie. They're weird curveballs, and
that's the one. That is one thing that I've grown to appreciate. The longer this show goes, the more I appreciate how non-bro-y your movies are, Chris Harvey.
Because Phil throws up some real just bro dude movies.
Phil and Dan have the broiest picks that have ever broed for bros.
Mm-hmm. Jerry has like the best stoner comedies, and your movies are like, I wonder what's on Peacock for free right now. Plus Lion King, which is great. Okay, but I'm super excited about Instant Family. I haven't seen it yet, and I saw a trailer like Michael, and I'm into it. Anytime Mark Wahlberg is trying to play either confused or smart, I'm 100% in.
I think it's really funny. I still laugh. I laughed yesterday.
Yeah, you said Eliza Schlesinger is in that?
Yes.
She's great. She's great.
And I've seen it maybe 9 or 10 times now. It is definitely, I think, probably my favorite movie. It's just
I'm looking forward to it.
I might watch it now.
That's so crazy. I'm so excited to watch this movie.
To be honest, I don't think you'll like it. I don't think either of you will. You might though.
It's fine. I still can't figure out what it is about movies, why I like them and why I don't like them. I can't figure it out myself. So I go into every movie going, I'm going to like this. Believe it or not, I go into movies going, I'm going to like this. And then there's always a point where I don't like it anymore.
Right.
So as long as it doesn't get to that point, I like the movies.
I'm kind of the same way. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm short enough. I think that it's short enough. It has enough comedy with enough emotion, and it has great characters in it. So I don't know. I'm excited for you guys.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm in the same way as Michael. I go into every movie being like, I'm probably going to like this. Somebody made this. Somebody wanted this to exist. But for some reason, in most movies, there's a part where it's like, oh, this is a movie, and then I'm like, then I'm out completely.
Yeah.
But either way, so next Monday is Instant Family, which Chris Harvey's #1 favorite movie of all time.
I'm so excited that we're getting to these #1s.
I'm going to try to make it for everyone's #1. That's my goal.
Yeah. There's going to be a couple good ones, and also Phil's will be there, so that's fine. Now,
Phil's is a Star Wars movie. It's the worst of the original trilogy, but it's still a Star Wars.
Return of the Jedi. Come on, dude. Get out of here. But anyway, also Chris Harvey, if you're not busy this Friday, we're doing a special edition show of that weird horror movie called Rubber.
I've already rewatched it for this. I've already rewatched it for Friday. It is insane.
You're pushing your luck. I mean, I said I'll be here next week. I did it. You got me on the phone. And
no, that's fair.
Now, but
that's fair.
Anyway, even if you're not here for it, Chris, watch Rubber. It's insane. It's on Zumo. It's on one of those free streaming services. So
yeah, Zumo. Yeah, Rubber. It's about. That's fine.
Don't say what it's about because
I'm fine.
What people say it's about isn't even what it's about. So
that's right. Yeah, it's about a movie, really. It's
about a movie. That's exactly what it is.
Okay, so Friday is Rubber. Next Monday, Chris Harvey's #1, Instant Family. Now let's get out of here. But before we do, obviously we're going to do our reels and say our goodbyes and stuff. So Chris Harvey, out of 10 reels, what do you give Lion King?
10.
A 10. Solid 10. Michael Colby.
Yeah.
Out of 10 reels.
Out of 10 reels, the cartoon, the 1994 cartoon, I'm giving a 7. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're wrong. You're wrong.
That's
there.
fine. I mean,
yeah. No, you're wrong. That's no.
Well, it's
7, dude.
It happened.
Seven's what you gave A Quiet Place, and that's ridiculous.
I gave A Quiet Place a 3, but I can think of off the top of my head 7 Disney movies that I would rather watch than The Lion King. So I'm going to give this a 7.
That's. I'm going to give this 9 reels. I think this movie is gorgeous. I think that the story makes sense. I think everything about it works. It is a movie that is going to be remade multiple times, and it will not get better than this one. Even the remake, I look at it, I'm like, I wish I was watching a cartoon. Gorgeous movie. The first time I've ever seen a murder by Disney. Solid 9 reels. Great pick, Chris Harvey. I really appreciate it. Good job. If you're listening to this or watching this, please comment along and let me know. Let us know how many reels out of 10 you would give this. And while you're doing that, give that little subscribe button a tickle. We would appreciate that, because
Dylan's auto thing should come up with reels pretty soon.
Yeah, he did set up a couple of these. But until those come through, we do have some friends that are usually on the show, and then we're going to get their reels real fast. So, Michael Colby, would you mind giving the reels for Mr. DL Smokes?
I really like this movie. I think I'm going to give it an 8.
Cats are awesome. All right. Now we got... so the Canadian version of this movie is about 2 hours longer, and there's no beavers in it, and I've never seen a lion in real life. Also, I do have a podcast on this called Better Lion King, where I review Lion King over and over again. So, no. Justin is... Justin is putting on Lion King just because his kids are there and they have nothing else to do. But Justin is really just people watching outside of a Walmart.
I forgot he was part of the podcast.
I know. Jerry.
Justin said, I love this movie because kids almost get killed a bunch in it. But shit, now I don't remember what I was going to say.
Justin's like, my RV has a VCR in it, and it's one of the few tapes I still own, so I like it. And Jerry's like, there's some smoke in it, and everyone's dope, and that's great.
Everyone's dope is, that's Jerry's review for that.
Do y'all do that every week now?
No.
I say y'all better not do an impression of me. I swear I'll destroy you guys.
I like Lion King so much that I put it on my shirt. No, I really thought I was gonna be by myself on this one, so I put everyone's picture up there, and I was gonna have a conversation with everybody. But then luckily Michael showed up, so that didn't happen. But either way, real boys, we appreciate everyone paying attention to us. Thank you very much. You can check out all 69 of our episodes on YouTube. Our podcast is everywhere. But you can check out Mr. Chris Harvey on his show, Chris and Chris, Chris plus Chris show. You can also see him doing any kind of stand-up anytime there's a Denny's or a Waffle House around. Trust me, that dude's got jokes. You can see Jerry and Smith over at the Crowd Chronicles. And he also has another show called Bet That with his boy Mr. DL Smokes. DL Smokes, Bet That. Also with Oops, Caught Me Smoking. Dylan Terry's on the show the majority of the time, and without him, I wouldn't be talking. So I got to give some props out to him. Please check him out on all social media. Vorpal Words. Dude writes great stuff. He's awesome, and I appreciate him more than he will literally ever know. Now, Phil Better, he's also on this show, but he can't. He's actually doing 6 shows at once right now, so he can't be on this one. One of 6 shows that you check him out currently is what's that one?
It's called Slay the Hay, where he takes his shotgun out to a field where they just baled up all the hays, and then he just shoots at them, and then he mounts them up on his wall. It's really weird. It's a Canadian thing.
He definitely stays that hay. It's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible. Yeah. So you can.
That was the stupidest thing I ever said.
You never know, dude. You never know what's going to come out of your mouth. So yeah, you can either check him out on Slaying the Hay. or Mountain the Mounties, where he has a punk style show where he tries to get on top of a Mountie and tells them what's a boot with all the news and stuff. So Mounting Mounties, slaying the hey, a, or Ed Z, which honestly, you can go check him out on anything. If you want a better podcast, check out Phil Better's podcast. Who else? We got everybody else. Oh, and also Justin Wallace with Animation Shenanigans, Shenanigans, Animaganigans, Shenanigans.
Animanigans.
Animanigans, Shenanigans. Dude, he is so hilarious. Check out Justin Wallace. You can find old shows of his called Carpool Shenanigans. But now it's just Amagam Shenanigans.
Yeah, no, it's just Amagam Shenanigans.
Amagam Shenanigans.
Yeah.
And also, Michael Foss, where can people find your beautiful voice?
Oh, we're doing some weird stuff on Jack Billings Presents. Not me and my neighbor Michael. That's done. There is some weird stuff on Jack Billings Presents Me and My Neighbor Michael, but we're not doing that one anymore. Jack Billings Presents Haunted Apartment Complex. We got some Weekend at Bernie's style shenanigans going on soon. We got butt stabber shenanigans going on soon. We got wizard battles. We have ghosts of people who died in the 1800s of consumption. There's a demon that sounds like a Muppet. There's all sorts of crazy shit happening over there.
Butts the mamigans shamamigans.
Butts the net. There's going to be a butt stabber offshoot podcast that's just about the butt stabber.
Justin Wallace's next podcast,
butt stabbergins shenanigans. And then on Generation Clash, we're starting to talk about some weird bands, 80s hardcore to satanic ska bands. And on I Love This Terrible Game, where we're talking about video games. And then, on The Real Boys, we're talking movies, weird movies like Rubber. And I'm also, after we get through these number ones, I'm going to pitch the idea of making this a podcast that's just about Kurt Russell movies, where we go from Kurt Russell's first movie up until his latest one.
Man, it's so many crappy Disney movies.
I know there's a lot of crap, but there's also The Thing and Escape from LA and Overboard. No, let's not talk about Overboard.
No, very problematic. Although I think that we should either turn it into like Real Boys, as far as toxic behavior of men in movies, or really just reviewing Phil Better's podcast. Because that dude is real.
I'm not opposed to starting a podcast that just reviews every episode of every one of Phil Better's podcasts every week.
Dude, we should just put that as part of it. If he doesn't show up next week, I'm going to get clips of the shows that he's doing, and we're going to have a quick 5-minute segment where we're going to review parts of his shows that he put out. If he's not here for Chris Harvey's number one, Instant Family with Mark Wahlberg, we're going to review Phil Better's podcast of this week.
Yeah, the good thing about Phil's podcast is they're usually only between 1 and 3 episodes before they don't make enough money instantly for him, so he just discards them.
That's true. And a lot of them are just sound effects. So you really got to get through a lot of the jibber jabber. But anyway, guys, we appreciate any attention whatsoever. We already saw this stuff, so we're going to go ahead and get out of here. So adios.
Bye.